Hi everyone, it's Maria, and today I'm going to share with you the specific things that we're going to be using for school. I did not get all of the books that we're going to have out because there's several, but I got the main kind of spine curriculum that I wanted to show you as well as a few extras. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is our memory work for the year, at least for the first semester. I'm trying to do better at having my children memorize some things that I think are important. And so I have chosen out the poem, The Man in the Arena by Theodore Roosevelt as their kind of spine poem that I want them to memorize. Hopefully once they get through that, then we'll pick up a few other ones. But I'm starting off with just one goal. If I can get them to do that for the year, I'd be happy. So that's the first thing. The second thing is our language work, which I've been more lax on than I should. So Latin is super important for my husband that the kids learn. So we will be doing Latin much better than I have been, as well as Spanish is very important for me for them to learn because it's good to have more than one language. And my sister's family speaks Spanish, so hopefully we can practice with them a little bit more. But I wanted to show you a few of the things that I'm planning on using for Latin, and then talk to you for maybe a minute or so about how I am doing language. So the books that I got, I just went to the library because I'm cheap. This one's Conversational Latin for Oral Proficiency, and it has a lot of different vocab as well as some phrases and things, some practice. So I got that one. This one's Veni, Didici, which is have fun learning Latin with songs, games, puzzles, and jokes. I purchased this one. It's got cool slang, lighthearted insults, funny jokes, timeless games, famous sayings, clever puzzles. So again, these are some fun things to do. This one I also purchased, I think from Better World Books, so it's pretty cheap. Latin for Beginners by Usborne. And this is more graphic novel kind of style for that. And then this is the one we started with and didn't get through a lot of it, but Getting Started with Latin, Beginning Latin for Homeschoolers and Self-Taught Students of Any Age. And this was actually decent. We just, I was not as consistent as I should have been. I want to also just utilize some videos. Language learning is very important to me, despite the fact that I have not been practicing what I preach. So, Tim Ferriss, for those of you who have heard of 4-Hour Work Week or 4-Hour Body or 4-Hour Chef, any of those, he also has a very good podcast. I've really enjoyed him. He's a productivity and learning expert. He talks about how it is important to kind of get the basics of a language, and once you get that down, it's a lot easier to learn. So instead of starting with the very boring, mundane things that you might not like pencil over and over again, because how many times do you really ask somebody for a pencil in another country? You pick out the most used words of that language, and then you start from there. And once you kind of start from there, it's a lot easier to get the ball rolling because they're commonly used, and you kind of start making inferences. There's also another YouTuber that I really enjoyed listening to for a lot of different reasons, but his name's Nathaniel Drew, and he did a couple videos called I Learned Italian in 7 Days. There's a part 1 and a part 2. He also utilizes this strategy, and so I'm trying to work on my Spanish, kind of refreshing using this strategy, but I also want to do the same thing with Latin. So I'm kind of going to do a hodgepodge of things and just try and have a lot more languages surrounding us so that hopefully we will get a little bit more of it under our belts. The next thing that's a fun thing, not necessarily connected to our regular curriculum, is the Alyssa Burke nature journaling class. Nature journaling is something that we've done kind of spotty in the past, but Alyssa Burke is an online artist that I've really appreciated. She does a lot of really cool art classes if you are looking, and they're pretty affordable. She has sales a lot of times, but I bought one this summer on sale, and it's the nature journaling class. It's a 30 different lessons, one for each day, so they're fairly short, but I thought it would be a fun way to kick off our August, coming up with a fun artsy nature journal. So that's another thing we're starting off with. Then comes into history, and for history, actually I'll talk about science first. For science, we're doing biology this year, and I thought the best way to do that was for me to get reacquainted. So I had my library purchase this. A lot of times, if you don't know, ask your library to purchase a book if they don't have it. They will a lot of times do it. This is the cartoon book to our cartoon guide to biology by Larry Gonick and Dave Wessner. It's really engaging, kind of fun, and it's easier to go through. So I got this and also just a dummy's guide to biology essentials. And so that'll give you a spine if you're not using a boxed curriculum, because I don't like using a boxed curriculum. I don't know. Then it gives you kind of an order of how to teach different things. And so we're starting off with, I decided we're going to do with microbiology, DNA, genetics, that kind of thing for the first part. Then we're going to move into animals, and then we move into the human body, and then we move into plants. So kind of 4 quarters of the year. So we're starting off with the microbiology stuff. I think it's really good for you to get a book that makes you excited about whatever you're learning. So I picked up this one, as well as a few kind of fun genetics reads, which I'll talk about in another book kind of review. But take your own notes, learn your own things. I think kids pick up from that example. This is my notebook from biology. Then my kids have been super pumped about tardigrades. I don't know if you've heard of them. A lot of my friends have not, but they're microscopic organisms who have survived the last 5 extinctions. They're very good under extreme weather, temperatures, pressures. They actually, my husband just sent me an article yesterday. They accidentally crash landed on the moon with them, and they apparently survived that as well. So I put on our Amazon homeschool wish list tardigrade stuff because we were getting a microscope we got, and my mom picked these up for us. The tardigrade, my boys think they're the cutest. I don't know. And then this is Kids and Teachers Tardigrade Science Project book. So how to find tardigrades and observe them through a microscope. Michael Shaw. I don't know how much we'll get through of this, but I have a feeling my boys have already started planning for our homeschool science fair that we do every year. I have a feeling one of them is going to do a tardigrade project at least, because they're obsessed with them right now. Then I just went to the library and picked up a few other books for microbiology, bacteria, genetics. This is Tiny Creatures, The World of Microbes. So my littlest one will be able to understand that one. This one is called Microbes, Discover an Unseen World, with 25 projects. Then we have a few of these Max Axiom books on genes, bacteria. They're graphic novel nonfiction. Well, as nonfiction as like a scientist being able to be Magic School Bus style, I suppose. Tiny Life in Your Home. And this one I'm very excited about, the bacteria book. The Big World of Really Tiny Microbes. So I really like these DK books. So do my boys. They're a really good way to kind of get involved, and a lot of libraries have them. So also use interlibrary loan if you can't get a hold of it. So we'll be doing that. We'll be working with some nature study, but also microscope work. There's so many things online for free. There's Netflix documentaries and all kinds of stuff that you can look into. So we're not just going to be using our books, but definitely using as many things that we already have as possible. Then comes history, which I decided to go, my boys really like The Eyewitness, which I already told you. I found this series called Hands on History, and I went through Better World Books and got several of them for $4, the ones that I didn't already have. So I think I have. I don't know if I can lift them all. So these are all different. They're similar to the Eyewitness books in that they have a lot of pictures with captions, but then they have maps, and timelines, but they also have projects that they can do. So my boys have already been scouring through this, trying to figure out when they get to build a gold helmet. We like art at our house. If that's not your thing, there's recipes in here. You could also, do your own thing. You can, if you're writing, your kid really likes writing stories, have them do that. Like I said in a different video, my 11-year-old is going to be doing a timeline, making little artist trading cards and doing a game with that. So we're doing that, focusing on these. I think they're just kind of fun. We also have several different games that I've purchased. There's an Egyptian one from Mindware, a museum board game where you build your museum from different places around the world using, and the cards have real artifacts on them. Seven Wonders Duel, Pandemic Fall of Rome. There's several different games that I got to go along with our history this year. And then geography. I did subscribe to two different things. This one is the Yesteryear Gazette, which each month, this is the first issue. The first, they go through and there are just different things that happen in August. It's a 3-page thing. Very well done. There were a couple of things that I wasn't thrilled with as far as inclusivity and diversity issues. So I sent along an email to the creator, and she seemed at least receptive to my suggestions. And then the same person, she actually does these letters from afar, and they're really beautiful. I've had them on my list for a while. The Yesteryear Gazette is $8 a month. This one's $6 a month, but this one's Sri Lanka. So I thought it would just be kind of fun to have these, put them in page protector binders and work with that as far as recipes or crafts or getting a book from the library on those things. So we'll be doing that for geography. If you haven't checked out the YouTube channel Geography Now, it's great, even if you're just watching it like one a week. It's very engaging gentleman. I guess he's probably young 20s, but I really appreciate how he kind of combines all the history and culture into one short video, and highlighting each country, and he's fun. So documentaries are your friend. Then we have math. Both my boys, this will be their second or third year, I think second year completely, using Beast Academy. It is told, the guide is done in graphic novel style, and then the practice guide is black and white, but has a lot of games and puzzles worked into it. I really have enjoyed using it. It seems like it runs about a year ahead of where they are. So my 3D, I think my incoming 5th grader is going to be finishing up starting the 3s, and then I have the 4s ready for him to go. So some of it he might already know, but I didn't want him to miss it. They have some great puzzles in here. Some of them are even challenging for me. I like how that they have the hints at the back for the challenge problems, as well as the explanations for all of the answers, so that your child can kind of check their work, or you can help them figure out, why is this not working? And then for language, we will be doing Rooted in Language and Brave Writer as a combination thing. So Rooted in Language, we're going to be doing some of the Alien Bug word study, as well as their word study curriculum. This has a lot of different things as far as building bugs, making sentences with those structures. I got the entire bundle, so we'll see how long it takes for us to go through each part. I will be doing more annotating with Post-it notes, and I will show you our language arts binder that we'll be working on once we get going a little bit further in. And then I did sign up for the Arrow subscription with Brave Writer. So if you don't know what that is, they have an arrow and a boomerang for a different age range. They have a reading, writing skills set alongside one book a month. So by the end of the year, you will kind of touched on lots of different parts of reading and writing. They have copy work included. Also at the end of each, they have a book club party guide, which we did book club parties last year for several of our selections and loved them. This year, we just went ahead and put them all on the schedule. So I have 3 other families that we're going to be doing book club parties with. They were one of our favorite things from last year, was doing those book club parties. So I'm excited to continue that tradition on with the Brave Writer, because I've really enjoyed Julie Bogart and everything that her company puts out. So, and then the last thing was just, a couple of extras. I mentioned before in a different video, we are going to be doing Google's free curriculum, Be Internet Awesome. It's just a six lesson, but they're broken down, so I guess 6-week curriculum on being kind on the internet, being safe on the internet, being private on the internet, those sorts of skills that I think are essential in today's world. We will also be doing some cooking, baking, coding projects, We always do science fair. And then we will also be doing our second year of what we call Badge Club. Last year was our first year doing it. I had 2 other families join in with us, and we did an end of year ceremony where throughout the year we worked as a group on certain skills, whether it was dental care, business starting, an art project, listening skills, and then at the end of the year they could get badges based on skills that they acquired as a group or as an individual. It was the highlight of our year, honestly. It was fun to be with other kids and have that interaction, but also see them recognized in a way that homeschoolers often aren't. So I'm excited about continuing on with Badge Club. We have a bike care thing already set up. We're going to be working on the internet thing along with the Badge Clubbers. We're going to be doing a country fair with Badge Clubbers, and book club is also done with them. There's several different things that we have on the docket for that. So along with mindfulness and gym class, and then some music and art things on the side. So that seems like a very full year already. I'm exhausted just telling you about it. Again, we are not starting to do all of this the first week. We're going to ease into it over the next month. And I just want to encourage you to, go at your own pace. If this is your first or second year as a homeschooler, don't stress, especially if you've got itty bitties. You will catch up on a lot of things, create those connections, create the trust between parent and student, and have fun. Have fun cuddling and reading. I miss that. I miss doing that a little bit more. So especially now that I have my youngest one starting up, I am jealous of myself 10 years ago when I just had one kid to focus on and cuddle and teach. So it comes with its own challenges. So anyway, if you have any questions, please put them down below in the comments. I will try to link a lot of this, but there's a lot, so I probably won't link all of it. I will talk to you all later. Bye.